Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our final edition of the week of Sunny Kathy's 5-Minute Sermon. Glad you are on board with us. Randy Sutherland and Brenda Shadden so far, and there's others I'm sure that haven't commented that are here. But anyway, great to be with you, and we are going to talk today, as soon as we get started here in just a moment, we're going to talk today about, getting all my glasses straight here, we're going to talk about fasting according to Jesus. And that is going to be found in Matthew, the 6th chapter, verse 16 through 18. Matthew 6, 16 through 18. We'll give it just a few more seconds, and then we'll kick in. But hope you have a good weekend planned and a great day. Janine's taking Kylo to a birthday party at a skating rink, and who knows, I may go. Just don't know yet. But anyway, I'm going to work this weekend, as usual, it seems like. And I thank God for work. But I hope you have a relaxing weekend planned out, and just really hope you're so blessed. Brian Hall, good morning. One of our great pastors here in Texas. Good to see Brian Hall, one of my former church friends from the 80s in Irving, Texas at Christ Temple, which is now Heartland Church. But anyway, great to see Brian always. He just built a nice fellowship hall on their church, and it's always, I always admire pastors as they improve on their facilities and everything. And man, I'll tell you, it just wound up beautiful. I have seen it on Facebook, and Brian, you did a great job on that. I know it's not easy, but anyway, I know your congregation appreciates that. Good to see Lucretia and Sheila this morning. And I'm going to get started here, but Lucretia, we're talking about fasting according to Jesus. Fasting according to Jesus, and it's Matthew 6, chapter 6, Matthew chapter 6, verse 16 through 18. Good to see Lucretia, Sheila, Wayne Cook. 80s shouldn't be that long ago. I'm telling you, Brian, it's been a long time. Early 80s when we were in church together. Just moved from Bossier City, just got out of the Air Force, and my brother talked me into coming to Dallas, and I think it was the best thing we ever did. I wish I would have stayed in the Air Force now that I look back on it, but God knows, and we just really were blessed by Brother D. Hart, Brother Millsap, all of you. Jack D. Hart taught me how to look at Christianity not as a religion and as a works-oriented thing, which we're going to talk about fasting today, which is a works-oriented thing, but our focus and his focus was on the spiritual side of it, just serving the Lord. You know, you don't need somebody beating you over the head telling you how to live for God. My goodness, what good's he going to do anyway? If you're faking it anyway. And I'm not saying people that go into works type things are faking it. I know that they mean well and all, and I appreciate anything we give up for the Lord that the Lord has laid on our heart. But anyway, I didn't intend to get off into this, but it all ties into fasting. But Jack D. Hart taught me how to love people and believe in people. I was just in a VA Move meeting, which is trying to get me in shape physically, and really appreciated it. There was only the facilitator, which was a dietitian, and there was a person there that was transgender, and me, and then Janine eventually came in. But I just, we introduced ourselves, and I called that person, and I don't mean this belittling when I say that person. I'm just, it's hard for me to get my mind wrapped around it. But I just was nice and friendly and complimentary, and Kimberly, which is what this person went by, was just, told me when we were leaving, and I'm not saying this to brag on myself because I'm talking about fasting today and how not to brag on yourself, but I just appreciated the humanity of it and understand and know that we are never going to gain any kind of inroads to anybody by disrespecting and hating and rolling our eyes and things like that. Well, when we were leaving the room, and I don't know what you're going to think about all this, because, morally, I don't agree with any of this. Morally, it's an abomination. I preach it all the time. I don't defend it. But as an individual that deserves salvation, I just, and you could tell the minute I asked, "What is your name?" Kimberly, you could tell that when I called Kimberly, which I'm not, I don't agree with any of that. But anyway, this is awkward. But when we were getting ready to leave the room, Kimberly said, and I don't know the original name, so I simply asked, "What's your name?" Told me, so that's what I'm telling you. And Kimberly said, "You know what? I really like you. I really appreciate you. I can't wait to see you again next month." And Janine's sitting there with me, and I thought, boy, this is awesome, because I can seed this life, feed it, cast seeds down of the love of Jesus Christ, and just do what I like to do, and that is to win souls and to reach out to people. And you can tell that I'm really having an awkward time formalizing or formulating all this. But folks, we just got to love people. No matter what has mixed him up, messed him up, and that I'm militant on this stuff, this woke movement and cramming stuff down our throats. But yet, I never hate people. People they accuse you of hate when you do this, when you say you should not do this. It's just not right. It's sin. It's an abomination. They say, well, you just hate, whatever it may be. No, I don't. Absolutely don't. I want to see people brought into the kingdom of God, and I will never reach Kimberly without showing the love of God. And so, but you could tell, like I say, every time I'd say Kimberly, it was like the guard came down. It was like a relief to this person that they did not see judgmentalism on me, but I acknowledged the good things they were telling me about how they had lost so much weight, how, Kimberly had lost so much weight. But anyway, golly, I didn't intend to get, anyway, let me get going here. Matthew 6:16-18. Forgive me if this offends you, but I don't know how else to formulate it. I love people. I want to see people saved. No matter what sin they are in, I want to see them saved. Moreover, when you fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. They got their reward by the adulation. But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head and wash thy face, that thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto the Father, thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. We're talking about fasting according to Jesus. In Matthew 6, we're talking about fasting according to Jesus. So the don'ts to fasting, the do-nots to fasting is don't look sad, don't draw attention to yourself, and don't make a production out of what you're doing. No one likes to fast. If you like to fast, I'm telling you right now, folks, you need help, because nobody likes to fast. Now, I know we get into it and we're looking forward to some things because we think we're going to get closer to the Lord, and we will, but you don't like it. All through the day, your stomach's growling. I mean, I have fasted 21 days at a time. That's the longest I fasted, and right now I'm doing what I'm preaching against, and that's bragging. But in Irving, actually, this was a long time ago, so whatever I've gained from that, I've already gained. Whatever I've lost from it, I've already lost. But 21 days, just went on a personal fast, and it was just so rewarding to do that. I can remember it to this day, sitting around our table. The first meal that I ate, that I overate, I'm sure it was salads and stuff, but yet, when you're coming off fast 21 days, you better be eating broth. soup, whatever. But anyway, I didn't know how to break a fast, so I did it that way, and I was young and I survived. But no one likes to fast. It's torture, and it is to deprive yourself from the basic necessities of life. Food is a necessity, folks. That's why the blasted losing weight business is so tough, because you don't have to do opioids. You don't have to do, now, unless you're in a lot of pain. A lot of people get hooked on opioids because they had legitimate pain. So I understand that. I told them in that meeting, that MOVE meeting yesterday at the VA, I said, listen, I have great compassion for drug addicts, for people that are trying to quit smoking, because I know what it is to say no to Bluebell ice cream. It's torture to say no to Bluebell ice cream. But if I want to continue to live, and I want to continue to have a quality of life, then I got to say no to some things. We are self-indulgent by nature. And boy, they have created foods now that are just, I mean, Bluebell had to be invented in heaven. It had to be. M&Ms had to be invented in heaven. But yet when you see the hellish side of them, you know that they couldn't have been. But we want to indulge. You know, I told the people in the meeting, I said, listen, when I went to an all-you-could-eat buffet with my friends and I was looked down upon, I mean, actually, there was a man that, a minister friend of mine, that would actually make jokes about it. When we were sitting there eating, he would make jokes about it. Oh, my brother, you're so big, my goodness. And I'm sitting here looking at him. Finally, I think I told him one day, I said, you know what? You had a plate of food at this buffet. I had a plate of food at this buffet. I didn't have 2 plates. I didn't have 3 plates. I didn't have 5 plates. I had a plate full, just like you did. And yet, because I'm big, you are mocking me and basically calling me a glutton when I ate the same amount of food you did. So, folks, what I'm saying is, but we are self-indulgent. We probably had 2 plates. I'm just saying I didn't eat any more than they did. But what I'm saying is it just showed on me, and we are self-indulgent. And Amazon, I was looking at Amazon this morning or last night, I forget, but looking at a certain pen. Janine will tell you, look at this, folks. Look at it. Wait, that's just one pile of my pens that I can reach down and grab. I look to my left, baskets of pens. To my right, baskets of pens. I am a pen fanatic. And yet this morning, because I found yesterday, boy, these Sharpie permanent pens, a pen that I use a lot is the erasable ink pen. And I love it, man, because I don't really like writing in pencil. So I write in these erasable ink pens. I've got them right here in my pocket. Look at here, folks. You think, where's it at? You think I'm not a nerd? That's my pocket. A nerd? That's my pocket. Well, I've got these erasable pens that this little thing up here erases the ink, and I love writing in ink. So, man, these are great for my takeoffs when I have to erase things on estimating. But the other day I had it sitting here, and I was steaming some hard-boiled eggs on a little steamer that Janine and I got, where I could make my own eggs and take a little bit off of her. And evidently that steam came down on my papers that I had written down my takeoff on, and it disappeared the ink. And so I thought, well, man, these Sharpies are permanent ink. They don't smear. You can pour water on them. They don't smear. So this morning, or last night, I was looking for those retractable. I love that. Retractable Sharpies. And I almost pulled the trigger, and I've got thousands of pens, literally thousands of pens laying here. But I'm self-indulgent. It's when you order on Amazon, it's like getting a Christmas present every day. And so I have to stop myself from doing that. Now, it's always something I think I need. And so I just really love it when, boy, that Amazon package, you know what I'm talking about? Don't act like you don't. That Amazon package comes in and you're excited, man. It's like Christmas. You bought yourself a Christmas present. But anyway, fasting, we're so self-indulgent, we don't want to fast. So we're tempted to let the world know that we're fasting. Oh, it's such a miserable thing to do that we're like, are you eating today, brother? You make a lunch appointment when you know you're fasting. Are you eating today, brother? Well, I can't, my brother. I hate to tell you this, but golly, let's keep it a secret. I'm fasting. Pat yourself on the back. I'm fasting. Oh man, brother, I wish I could do that. And you're like, well, you know what I'm saying? You're bragging. He said, don't do like the hypocrites do. They waited till the feast days. Jews fasted on Mondays and Thursdays, and they waited till everybody was in the market days. They waited till everybody was in the market on Mondays and Thursdays in Jerusalem, and they'd all go there and they'd ruffle their hair up and tear up their, rip their clothes and get dirty and everything else. And that poor hypocrite over there, they fasted, man. Look at that poor old thing over there giving up his food, fasting. And the guy's like, oh, I know, man, I'm so spiritual, I'm so holy. Well, listen, you already got your reward. You got bragged on. You got your reward. So it's not going to do you any good now. That fast did not do you any good. But listen to this. We are tempted to let the world know that we are suffering and that we are holy. But the opposite is supposed to happen. We are supposed to humble ourselves with fasting. We are humbling ourselves with fasting, not lifting ourselves up, not drawing attention to our suffering. In the natural, it would be like a diet. It would be like, just recently, I'm just going to confess something to you today, folks. Just recently, from August until December, I worked out almost every day, nearly killed myself, bored stiff, hated it, almost every minute of it. The elliptical, just repetition and boredom and did without, man, just did without most days. I actually walked the line, man. I lost 60 pounds, whatever. And then after Christmas, not at Thanksgiving or Christmas, I did good with the big piles of food there. I didn't sit around eating cookies and cake and pies. All of it was there, but I didn't do it. I ate turkey. I did eat a little dressing, but I made sure that I was moderate. But it was after Christmas that I caved in. I guess I thought I owed myself something. So all these months of exercising and doing without and depriving myself, I didn't gain it all back, but I gained half of it back. And I'm telling you what, now I'm having to re-lose it again. Well, that's like fasting. You gain something by fasting. Humility. You get God's attention. God's attention, not everybody else's. You don't want everybody else's. But you get God's attention. You humble yourself with fasting, and then though, if you seek the accolades of people, you lose all of those benefits because the opposite happens. You do not humble yourself. You get prideful, and so that's what you can compare that to a diet. And so you humble yourself with fasting. All right, so listen to this. The do's. I gave you the don'ts. You don't look sad. You don't draw attention to yourself. You don't make a production. But what you do is you anoint your head and you keep it a secret as much as you possibly can, and you wash your face. You don't go out looking like you're about to starve to death, and you're just telling the world, man, look what I'm going through. And so anyway, that's the things you don't do. Listen to this. Reuben fasted 7 years after they sold Joseph into Egyptian bondage. After they threw him in the pit and sold him, the Ishmaelites sold him into Egypt, Reuben fasted 7 years. Now you say that's impossible. Well, no, it's not when you fast the way that people fasted in the Bible. Just like the Muslims, just like the Jews, they fast from sun up, which they say that sun up is when you can distinguish between a white thread and a black thread. When you can tell the difference, that's when your fast begins, and you finish at sundown. You can eat before sun up, you can eat after sundown. And so it's doable to fast 7 years when you do it that way. So consider that on your fast. You will be able to get through a lot of fasting. I've got a good friend, and I'm not going to give you his name because I don't want to blow his cover, but I've got a good friend that I pastored, and he went to church here in Waco, and he fasts. I mean, the whole lifetime I've known him, he fasts 2 or 3 days a week, total fast, 2 or 3 days a week, forever. And like I say, I'm not going to give you his name because he doesn't brag about it. I found out because I was his pastor. But anyway, this man fasts regularly, and he's a good man. And he just has a grip on God. So anyway, if you're going to fast, you can fast from sun up till sundown. However, you can fast any way you want to fast. There's no hard rules on this. Fast 3 days, 40 days, 21 days, 1 day, or fast 7 years. Don't do that. Reuben had a reason for that. It was penance and repentance for what he had done to Joseph. And Simeon, I think, fasted 2 years because of what he had hated Joseph. And so anyway, but do it the way you want to do it. Whatever will make you humble before the Lord and knock out your lustful desires, your cravings, your habits that need to be broken. And I'm going to let you go because we are running out of time. There was something I was going to read to you out of the commentary, but we don't have time really. But I hope this has blessed you today. I'm going to go back and read all your comments, and you can private message me about what I talked about at the VA and this transgender person and all, and give me feedback, good or bad. Because I don't know how to handle this situation altogether, but I do know I love people. I want to bless people. I want to see people saved, and I can't do that by hating on them or alienating them. Some things I have to post. I just can't let them get by. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was killed because he posted about their version of posting. Back then, he stood up for the Jews against Hitler and the Nazis, and he gave his life for it because it was just right. So there's things we have to come against because they're in the Bible, but we're not coming against the people. I kind of don't like the cliche, love, and you may have made it on here today, and it's a good cliche, but I don't know. We hear it so much, to love the sinner but hate the sin. That's true. But we have to genuinely make sure that we love the sinner and we do hate the sin. And that's why we preach against sin. No matter what that sin is, we preach against it, not to hurt people, but to let them know what you're doing is wrong, because many people don't know it's wrong. And then they can repent and come to God. But you'll never do that by saying, well, I'll tell you, I ain't calling you that. I don't, I ask a person their name, they give me their name. Now, I'm not going to get into all this pronoun business, he and thee and them and all this stuff, and you're not going to make me do that. Give me your name, and I'll call you by your name. I don't care if you've changed it legally or what you've done. I don't know what your mama and daddy gave you that name, so I can't call you by that, but I'll call you by your name, and we'll let God settle it in the end. So God bless you, folks, and I'm going to go back and read all your comments. I'm so excited about it. And I love you, and Janine loves you. Well, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But Janine and Jesus and Kylo love you, and all my other grandchildren love you, and that's the big bonus of the day. But I hope you have a great day, a great weekend. I'm going to go to the library today and read, and then come back home and work. And me and my girlfriend are going to go meet people in the library. That's why I get out. I want to meet people like Kimberly and others and influence them toward Jesus. I don't just get out to get out. I do want to exercise. I want to walk, and on my walk or even in the library, I'm racking up those steps. Yesterday, I racked up a lot of steps, probably 10 times more than I normally do by walking at the VA and doing all this stuff. But I go to the library for that, but more importantly, I go there to meet people so I can tell them about Jesus. I can't do that in this apartment. So anyway, God bless you. I love you. Have a great day. Thanks for bearing with me.